I honestly think that what's great about what's going on with the franchise now is obviously Dan Radcliffe just arrived. But what's happening with the franchise now is exactly what we set out to do. We only had 3 books when we started. We had a 4th in Galley's form. And we realized that these books were going to get progressively darker and progressively more mature. So we knew that when we were starting the first film, we were making a film not primarily for children, but that existed in a childlike environment. And as those films grew, as we got into Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban, they got darker, colors got more desaturated, and they became much more mature films. And so seeing it now, after all these years, it's thrilling to see that exactly what we set in motion exists today. Also, all of these cast members are still here. That never happens. So it's an honor to be involved in something where I built the sets, I cast the movie, and I created a playpen for a lot of people to have some fun. So it feels great.
One of the things you say, it's funny that something that never happens is rarely does a franchise retain its sort of sense of purity and wonder, after 8 films, or even after 2 for that matter.
Right.
Are you surprised, or maybe I'd ask, what do you attribute the fact that fans are still as excited, if not more excited, than they were early on, as opposed to getting jaded as they do with most Hollywood franchises?
I think because we became extremely the thing that we were kind of knocked for at the beginning in a weird way, faithfulness, because we stayed faithful to the material, which was brilliant material. By staying faithful to the initial material, you enable yourself to endear yourself to the fans. So that faithfulness that we had on the first film enabled not only myself to feel more liberated on the second and third films, but enabled other directors to come in and create worlds that were very close to what Joe Rowling did. What Joe Rowling did is write a series of books that cannot be duplicated. We'll probably never see this again in our lifetime, and for me, that's a rare thing. For all of us, it's a rare thing.
But you worked on a lot of big commercial films. Did you ever expect when you started that this would, you say there were only 3 books at the time, that this would kind of have the momentum that it did? It just, no matter how popular something is, it's just rare to keep that kind of momentum going.
I didn't know, we knew, and when I started the film, I initially thought I'd be here for 7 movies. I had no concept that the level of exhaustion was so intense and so otherworldly that I could only get through 2 films as director. So producing the 3rd film, which was not an easy walk in the park either, still enabled me to work 12 hours a day as opposed to 20. So I admire David Yates for doing 4 of them.
Right. And that leads to my last question, which is, do you have any regrets that you did not get a chance to direct more of them, given the fact that you thought you might be here for all 7 at the time?
I have no regrets. I actually kind of thought at some point, it'd be great to go back and do the final film. But at the same time, David was in a groove and he was doing such an amazing job that I never even thought about it. I was sort of content with watching the films and trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life.
And speaking of on that score, I know you've got The Help coming out, and you've obviously been very involved with that. Very different kind of film. What do you expect the appeal or the resonance of that movie to be? It's obviously a very popular book. Who do you think will respond to that movie?
I think what we're finding out is what's interesting in terms of the way information moves so quickly these days is it always still comes back to the same thing. Does the movie move an audience emotionally? Do they find it funny? And do they leave having had a satisfying experience? Once you've seen The Help, audience members are going insane. It's all I can say. It's not like on a Harry Potter level at this point, but when people see the film, word of mouth spreads so beautifully that we're opening 2 days early to sort of bank on that. We want people to see the movie. The star of the movie happens to be the movie. Beautiful performances from all the actresses, beautifully directed by Tate Taylor. I love this film, so you'll be seeing me in the next couple of weeks really coming out and talking about The Help. I love it.